From Cichy Stadium in Fargo, North Dakota. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jed Thomas alongside my partner Adam Seiler as we get set for North Dakota High School softball action as the Shanley Deacons get ready to take on the Valley City Highliners. Well, folks, it is opening day here for the Deacons. It's been a bit of a delay. Some rough weather has delayed all the spring sports for the past few weeks, but finally the Lady Deeks are ready to take the turf and kick off this softball season. And Adam, what a home opener they got here, taking on a very strong Valley City team that's already off to a 2-0 start this season.
Oh yeah, it's looking to be a beautiful day here. I mean, we got some good competition, hopefully. Shanley, always going to be strong. And Valley City, 2 good non-conference wins against Jamestown to kick off their season.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Shanley, their very first game of the year, home opener, season opener, going to be some rust to shake off, especially when you've had all these weeks of just kind of waiting and waiting. You know, that anticipation gets to be a bit much for them. Maybe you've got some extra nerves because you've been putting it off so long with the weather. For Valley City, I think they're really happy that they were able to get those 2 games in against Jamestown. I think they're really happy they were wins. A great way to start the season with some confidence. You know, obviously Shanley going to have that home field advantage, but I think Valley City might come out a little faster here simply because of those 2 games they got under their belts. So, ready for the first pitch of the season for the Deacons, and Swanson sends that one right down the gut for a strike. That was a big swing that time. Valley City looking to come out strong here, trying to get one going early. That's Grace Shear batting for him. Shear, of course, Valley City's pitcher. She is running into those pitches right now, Adam. Kind of taking a few steps into them. Not quite sure what the strategy is there.
No, it's an interesting thing. You know, going from watching baseball to softball, it's a different strategy. You got the running on the pitch, running on the swing. It's a different game for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Something just takes a little getting used to. I guess that's the case for me here. And you see she's trying to get that bunt to go, and it is not working for her. Swanson looking strong to start things off here. She has been pitching for the Deacons her 3rd season now, getting serious time pitching for them. And now we have a brief delay for a little equipment issue. Coming in from the outfield, a visor from Lucian. And now we'll get back to the action. But as I was saying, Swanson's been pitching for a while for the Deacons. You know, this is nothing new to her. She's really just kind of been the Iron Lady for them. Logs a lot of starts, just very dependable. Shear hanging in there, showing bunt early on. Now we're not sure as that one sent right down into the turf. It'll find its way through a gap, and Shear's going to get a base hit to start things off.
That's exactly what Valley City wants to see here. I mean, they get a good leadoff hit to start it up. Hopefully they can capitalize on that. I mean, that's exactly what they're looking for.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, it wasn't quite a bunt. We'll get a look at the replay here. She does take a swing at it, puts it right into the dirt, though, and just finds its way in a little gap in the Shanley defense. Casey White now to bat for Valley City. That one a bit wild there from Swanson.
I think she's watching first base over there. You could see she took a pretty big lead off and maybe kind of got her distracted a little bit, but we're hoping to capitalize on a better pitch here.
For sure, Adam, that lead off Swanson was definitely watching as this one's going to just go foul. Goes past the glove of Rober there, but again, doesn't matter. That'll be a foul ball. Like you said, seems to be a nice leadoff there for Shear. She's really looking to take off here, and Swanson was watching that in her head just a little bit. That's one thing, you know, Swanson, a great pitcher for Shanley, one of the better pitchers, you know, in the conference. That is one thing she's had some trouble with previous years, trying to keep those batters under control, not let them steal one from her. But, you know, she's another year older, some more experience. I'm looking for big things from her this year, a lot more maturity. Casey White, taking a while here for Valley City. Shortstop, not showing bunt like Shear did earlier. She's getting all of that one, though, as it finds its way into the outfield, and that'll be another base hit. Now runners on first and second with no outs for Valley City.
Yeah, this is quite the start. I mean, they're doing exactly what you want to do. Singles win games, and I mean, if they can keep finding that gap, they're going to keep scoring runs.
Absolutely. They're just making really good contact right now. That time, the ball goes straight past the shortstop. Schanzenbach has been playing short, I think her second year, getting significant time there, as now you could see Shear was really running. She wanted to get to third there.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a good strategy to start off, especially with Shanley being really rusty off the start. I mean, if Valley City can push their edge they have after playing 2 games, it can be really advantageous for them.
No doubt about it, and I think this first inning's just going to be critical for the Deacons. Even if you give up 1 or 2 runs, I don't think that's a big deal. You just don't want to let Valley City jump out to a huge lead here, because I think it'll only be a matter of time until the Deacons find their groove. Might take a couple innings, but as long as they can survive these early ones, I think they'll be just fine. Bunt here just goes short. They're going to try to get the out at first. Looks like they've got it. Double play at home. No. And that'll be a run scored for Valley City. Sacrifice bunt that time, going to work out.
So that was really well designed, and Shanley almost had that out at home, but just tossed it straight over the catcher's head. It happens. You get into those clutch moments, and like you said, they haven't had any this year. I mean, Valley City's been preparing for this, and Shanley hasn't gotten a chance to really work it out on the field.
Exactly. Like you said, I think that's just one of those errors that'll get better as the season goes on, as they get some experience. A nice play to get the out at first, just couldn't quite complete the double play there at home. Swanson started strong. Pitches are a little bit wild right now. Nothing of concern, but just something to watch. One thing to note, Gabby Nelson playing first. We might see her get some looks at pitcher this year. She really does it all for Shanley. Commit to St. Cloud University for softball. She is a junior. Committed before the start of this season. Certainly one of the better players on the Deacon roster. Maddie Remke is the catcher right now for the Deacons. She's having a little bit of trouble holding on to these pitches from Swanson. You see they're kind of going in and out of the glove, as that one's going to be fouled way back. Some cars in that parking lot. Some car owners a little nervous right now after seeing that one. Field set up a little different for those of you who tuned in the previous few years. The field is actually set up on the opposite side, or the softball diamond is set up on the opposite side of the field. We believe because of the snow where it usually is. That just kind of goes to show, it kind of sums up this spring sports season. The snow has really forced everybody to shift their plans, getting right down to the diamond having to move to the opposite side of the field. Swanson with the windup and another hit here. Rober tries to track it down. She can't. Schanzenbach gets it to first, and Nelson makes the grab, but not before another runner scores here for Valley City.
See, that was a good stretch from Nelson to be able to grab that one. That was a high toss, but she grabbed it. Caught on. They're doing a great job here. I mean, it doesn't look good to be down 2-0 in the top of the first, but I mean, the damage control is surprisingly well. I mean, those first 2 runners got onto the base, and they've kept everyone else off, and I think that's the big part here.
Yeah, absolutely. Valley City's had the sacrifice to get those 2 runs in, 2 runs and 2 outs. Like you said, you don't love giving up 2 runs, but again, if they can get the out here, I think you can really call this first inning, at least defensively, a success. Obviously, we'll see the offense in the bottom here as Swanson lets that one go. That'll be a strike. Batting right now is Haley Schaefer, a freshman, in a pretty veteran-heavy lineup. A lot of seniors on this team occupying most of the starting spots, and then all juniors after that. Schaefer, the only freshman who really plays significant time right now. Obviously, early in the season, a lot of that can change, but from the get-go, it's looking like Valley City is going to be one of the older teams in the conference. Swanson lets this one go, popped way up into the air by Schaefer, and that one splits the goalposts all the way out of play. Be great for Swanson if she could get the strikeout here. Getting close to it. Just put one down the middle. That's all it would take. That one will do it. There's a strikeout for Ingrid Swanson. And like I said, I think that's going to be really good for her. Started strong, some struggles in the middle there of the first, but ends it on a high note.
Oh, yeah, the biggest thing there is definitely the way she cleaned it up at the end, ends it with a strikeout. That can be a big confidence booster going into the second inning here. And, well, I guess the bottom of the first, but,
Yeah. Absolutely. And Swanson, a pretty good batter in her own right, too. We'll get to see what she can do there. Definitely going to make some noise, you have to imagine. Leading off, though, is going to be Elena Linster. Didn't call her name there defensively. The center fielder for the Deacons. Her speed is really her calling card. She plays center field because she can get to those balls faster than anyone on the team and really faster than most girls in the state. She's just got some great wheels on her. Also, makes contact on a pretty regular basis. She's definitely a good girl to have in that leadoff spot. One notable absence for the Deacons on both sides of the ball, but especially offensively, is going to be Taylor Ehrholtz. She's playing softball now at Concordia. Of course, a senior last year. She was really Shanley's power hitter. She batted in that cleanup position most games, and that's really going to be some big shoes to fill here for the Deacons. Adam, I'll be really interested to see who's in that third spot, that fourth spot. She usually occupied one of the two.
Oh yeah, you're going to expect someone big here. I mean, you gotta. It's a big. Yeah, you're right. Taylor it does have some big shoes to fill. I mean, she kind of did the same thing Gabby's a little bit doing this year. She did everything. I mean, she was a hitter. She was a fielder. She was just an impressive player to watch, and that's who's going to step up and take that role.
Yeah, Adam, and I'm really glad you mentioned Gabby Nelson's name there because I think, of any of these girls who might step up, I think she's definitely one who might. Nelson, another one of those girls who can really hit with some power. She's going to be a junior this year, but she's been starting since her freshman year. And I think this could really be her breakout year. She's got that college commitment out of the way. She can really just focus on improving her game. And I'm expecting some big things from her. It'll be interesting. First pitch right off the bat, going to be a bunt from Linster, trying to use that speed, but a nice defensive play there by Valley City to get the out right off the bat. That's a great play for the Highliners to get things going.
You see, it looks like Valley City was definitely expecting a play like that to come out of her. You can tell her speed. You know exactly what she's going for. You just want to get a runner on base to start off, and they seem to anticipate it.
So it'll be Remke now after that quick out for the Deacons. Shear, of course, pitching for the Highliners. That one's right down the gut for a strike. Shear, of course, was able to score. She was the leadoff batter for the Highliners there in the top of the first. She got on base and then made her way home, as that one is going to be right down for another strike. Shear looking to retire Remke here in 3 pitches. We'll see if she can do it. The wind-up and contact is made. That one fielded and thrown right across for another easy out there for the Highliners. Just making it look simple. That's how you want to do it. That's a nice throw across the field from McKenna Taylor.
Yeah, you're right. They are just making it look easy out there. I mean, Shear is just blasting right down the center. It's looking like a really good play, honestly, all around for the Highliners.
So, 2 outs now. Ingrid Swanson going to be batting in that third position. Pressure on here a little bit, obviously very early, only down 2, but you want to do something, and that is something as Ingrid Swanson going to get the single, threatens second, and then gets right back on first there. Highliners were prepared for it, but that's great news for the Deacons, able to get a hit there.
No, that's good. You got to break that ice. I mean, and that was a big shot. She kept it low, but that was a lot of power behind that ball.
For sure. We talked about Gabby Nelson filling those shoes as the power hitter, obviously here batting cleanup. But Ingrid Swanson, that's another name to watch. She's got some real power, as you saw there. It is going to be tough to get these balls to go too far. If you can see that, I don't think you can see the flag on screen right now, but there's a flag just past the outfield that is whipping in the breeze directly into the batter's face. So that's a strong wind coming right at the ball as Nelson will check her swing there for a ball. Nelson steps back into the box here. First pitch was a ball. See what Shear's got on the second, and that will be a strike. Again, 2 outs here for the Deacons, 2 quick ones. Linster tried that bunt to start things off. Valley City was well prepared. Remke then was thrown out by the third baseman, McKenna Taylor. Swanson got the hit. Nelson's up to bat, and here we are as that one's high for another ball. Some really nice control being demonstrated here by Grace Shear. You know, 2 balls right now, but she's just been able to really put these, for the most part, down the middle. A couple have gone high like that last one, but I'm really liking what I'm seeing early on here, Adam.
Mm-hmm. The other thing to note there, I mean, none of her balls have really been that far outside the plate. Maybe a little outside the zone, but they're all easily manageable by her catcher. Nothing crazy as that ball gets sent wide into the stands.
Yeah, that was a foul right towards us there, dropping into the stands. And yeah, like you said, she's had those balls, but that's a great way to put it. Nothing's been crazy. I think Swanson was a little more wild there in her in the top of the first. Like we said, though, you know, we're going to sound like a broken record, but it's really true. Those 2 starts for Valley City, or those 2 games, you know, are just so important to shaking the rust off. And I think we're seeing that in a lot of ways, especially the pitching. Nelson gets a hold of that one, but Shear grabs it with the glove. What reflexes there from Grace Shear. She tracked that one right down. I mean, it just kind of found its way into her glove. She didn't have to do much.
Yeah, an impressive start to her game today. I mean, she's started off with some great pitching, a hit to lead off the game. I mean, a great glove to end that inning. It's just, we're looking forward to see what she has later on in the game, too.
Absolutely. So after 1 inning, it's a 2-0 lead for the Highliners. Folks, we're going to send it to break, but don't go anywhere. We got lots more softball action coming up after this.
This broadcast is presented by American Family Insurance, Ken Craft Agency, Bell Bank, Butler Machinery Company, Ed's Marine and Storage, the Fargo Jet Center, First International Bank and Trust, Forum Communications, Haley's Hope, Kochman Brothers Homes, Luther Family Buick GMC, Master Construction, Moore Engineering, Netrix IT, Northern Improvement Company, Off the Wall Advertising, Robert Gibb and Sons, Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Shields, and TCI Insurance.
Welcome back to softball action here on Shanley TV. I'm Jed Thomas, of course joined by Adam Seiler, as we're getting ready to start off the 2nd inning here from Cichy Stadium. Valley City's up 2-0 on Shanley right now. Deacons got a little bit going on offense there at the bottom of the first. You saw Swanson get the base hit. Nelson came in there, made some contact, but a good play made by Grace Shear, the pitcher, to throw her out. Now here we go, Deacons back on defense. They started off a little rough in the top of the first. They had their struggles, but they recovered pretty nicely, gave up 2 runs, but all in all, pretty successful first for them defensively at least. Swanson lets that one go, and it's going to be fouled off.
Well, that's going to be exactly what you want to see from Swanson, too. That's 2 strikes back-to-back following that strikeout to end the top of the last inning. So you're seeing a lot of confidence from her, especially for, considering, you know, she did throw a couple wild ones in the beginning of that first inning. This is exactly the improvement you want to see.
And look at that. Valley City not loving the call, but that is going to be strike number 3. That's 2 strikeouts in a row here for Swanson. You know, Adam, it was close. It looked like it was tracking a little high, but, you know, the ump says it's a strike, and I could see it either way. Regardless, though, good position to be in here if you're Shanley and if you're Ingrid Swanson. First pitch will be a ball. That was Thompson who was struck out there. It's Andrasic now, the senior, at the plate. And that's going to be another ball, just a hair high. Swanson takes a step back here, sizing up Andrasic. The windup puts one down the gut. Andrasic gets the hit. Rober couldn't get it at first. Able to get it over to Nelson, though, and she makes an excellent adjustment. Able to corral that one and get the out.
Now that's a great athletic play, a good stretch, and she's able to pull up not a great, circumstance, but she manages to make the play.
And a good recovery there from Rober. You know, the error couldn't quite get under control at first, but she was able to recover nicely and get that over to Nelson, who, of course, like you said, made a very athletic play. Another ball to start things off here for Swanson. It's Courtney Lloyd at the plate, yet another senior for this Highliner team. We've talked a lot about it, but just very, very senior heavy. Just a great veteran presence on this team, as that one's going to be low for another ball. That one sent way right and fouled off. The wind is blowing pretty much right into the faces of the batters. It does have a little bit of a lean to the south, though, so it's going to carry a lot of those balls to right field, as you saw there. That one took a sharp turn right once it got some altitude. And now that one's going to be fouled back. 2-2 the count. Swanson gets that ball back. Lloyd taking a couple practice swings there. It's 2 outs right now for Valley City. Be just huge for the Deacons if they could escape this one with no hits. And right as I say that, that one is going to be grabbed and thrown out. I thought for a second it might work its way through the Shanley defense, but a nice grab made that time by Lucian from second base.
Well, you hope that's a good sign of the things to come. I mean, Shanley, the first inning obviously wasn't the greatest for him. You know, maybe hopefully worked out a lot of that rust, and you come into the second and, I mean, work them out 3 and out. That is exactly what you want to see from the Deacons.
And, you know, Swanson obviously looked sharper there, more accurate. She seems to be improving as this game goes on, but I really thought the defense as as a unit, as a whole, played a lot better than in the first. They looked a little disheveled to start things off, but they were really firing on all cylinders there. Do want to give a shout out to Mrs. Brock, a Shanley teacher watching at home. Mrs. Brock, thank you very much for tuning in. Lovely afternoon for softball if you're watching at home. Not quite as lovely if you're out here at the field. It's in the mid-40s, not too bad. Good North Dakota spring temperature, Adam, wouldn't you say?
Oh, especially compared to the last couple of weeks we've had, Jed. It's good to see some sun.
If you can get above freezing, it's a win, I'd say.
Oh, for sure.
Not sure if you can see it on your screen, but we got the track team practicing out just past the outfield. Not sure if our cameras can get that, but there we go, yeah. See Shanley sports just happening all around here. We got the track team practicing, the softball team playing. So, Shanley offense back out there. Did not get a lot going in the first. Defensively, though, they're improving, and got to hope their offense will improve following the same trajectory. Got 1 hit from Swanson, but that was all they really had. Grace Shears looked pretty strong pitching for the Highliners. Let's see what she's got here to close out the second. It's Schanzenbach at the plate for Shanley, and that one's going to be fouled. Looked like it might be fair for a second there, but takes a hop backwards. So she'll start with the strike. Shear taking her time here. On the track now, lets this one go. Looked a little low. They will call it a strike. Took a minute there to decide, and close call. I can see it both ways. Schanzenbach will pick up the strike there, though, so tough spot here. 2 strikes, no balls. See how the sophomore responds. Nice response there, but Shear able to glove that one and throw her out. Second time we've seen Shear do that. Not quite as impressive as the first time, but still another solid play there for the junior.
See, I think the biggest thing right here is Shear is definitely just showing a presence at the mound. Not only her pitch is coming fast across the plate, I mean, she is not backing down from anything that gets hit her way either. I mean, she's really just looking impressive out there.
Absolutely. Really cool, calm, and collected right now. Just looks very relaxed at the mound. And, so relaxed, it's a bit of an intimidating presence. You look at her, not a lot of expression on the face, just very calm, reassuring for her teammates, and a little bit intimidating, like I said, for the batters. It's Rober at the plate for the Deacons, one of the seniors on this team. Shanley not a lot like Valley City in that regard, not a ton of veterans on this squad, as she'll pick up ball number 2, I believe. And sheer high on that one, so count is 0-3 right now. 3 balls, no strikes. Rober in a great spot. Sheer really put herself in a bit of a pickle here. The first adversity we've really seen her face. And we'll see how she responds. And that one's down the gut for a strike. So, good way to start things off for Sheer. Trying to recover in a jam. Down the middle again, Sheer picks up a strike. Full count now. Big spot here for the Deacons. Be huge for them if Rober could get on base. Again, for Valley City, it'd be huge, not just for them, but especially for Sheer to get out of a very tough spot. Rober let it fly, and it is a ball, so she'll take her base. An admirable effort there by Grace Sheer. Almost pulled it off. That last pitch was close, but in the end, she is going to walk Rober.
For the Deacons, number 9, Teresa Weigel.
Teresa Weigel going to take the plate now. Just a sophomore. Very young Deacon team, strong sophomore class. A lot of their starters coming out of that 10th grade. As Rober has some happy feet right now, looking to maybe take off for second. Sheer's so meticulous in her process, just takes her time. And now you see Weigel has that one caught. What a play there at first base. Valley City able to get out of that inning. Shanley finally getting something going, and just like that, it's over. Boy, Adam, what a tough way for Shanley to end that second inning. Just when they had some momentum, Valley City just slams the door.
Yeah, that's just an unfortunate way to go down, I guess. You know, you're one out, you're sitting with a person on base, and all of a sudden it's gone. That's the one place the ball couldn't go, and of course it's going to fall that way. You know, I think the biggest thing, again, I keep saying the biggest thing. There's a lot of big things in this game. But Sheer sitting on the plate there, I mean, sitting on the mound, you talked about how she's just a presence, she's intimidating, and I think that's absolutely the case. She's playing like she is the one in control of the game, and that it reflects. She's definitely setting the pace, she's slowing it down, and it sets everyone off.
Yeah, for sure, Adam. You know, I like that, word you use there, control. Just trying to demonstrate her control there, really kind of daring the Shanley batters to swing at some of these. You know, she's just demonstrating great control, great accuracy, just really in command of this game. She didn't quite get out of that jam. You know, she had when she was pitching to Rober there, had those 3 balls, almost got out of it, but did walk Rober. Nice recovery, though, and her defense is helping her out. You saw a nice play made at first base by Mackenzie Peterson there to get those 2 outs. So Valley City just really playing well as a team, as a unit, and that's helped them so far. I mean, they're up 2-0. Not a lot to complain about if you're the Highliners. Still, if you're Shanley, though, I think you got to be happy with that inning. To a degree, you got Rober walked, and it's kind of hard to put the blame on yourself after a bit of a, don't want to say fluky, but just kind of a tough play there. Not much you can do if you're Shanley. It was a good situation for the Highliners there. Deacons got to have a short memory, though, and get back to defense.
The other thing you got to consider is Shanley, I mean, although they didn't have the greatest offensive inning there, they held Valley City to no runs as well. So, I mean, they're coming out even in that inning. It's a great way to kind of just work through all this stuff. You said it before, say it again. They haven't played this year yet. And so, I mean, to get out of the second inning without letting in any runs is actually, it's a very good thing for Shanley to do right here.
And there's one down for Shanley, able to get an out right off the bat there.
Number 1, Grace Shear.
Grace Shear is up to bat now as we're back at the top of the order here for the Highliners. Shear really wanted the bunt at her first at bat, wasn't able to get it, did get a nice little ground ball to go though, and you see there once again looks like she's trying the bunt. Swanson puts that one high. Real high that time. I think she's trying to avoid the bunt there from Shear, but just got to get that one under control a little bit. And that one's going to be fouled back by Shear. Made some contact. Looked like it might be like her first hit. It went right into the ground. Shear, obviously a great pitcher, but pretty one-dimensional so far batting. She's looking for that bunt or just putting it into the ground. Not necessarily a bad thing, but just very clear she's got a certain way she likes to play. But just as I say that, she popped one up. Looked like it might split the defense there, but it's tracked down nicely by Schanzenbach.
Yeah, it was some good communication. You had two Shanley players running right into each other, and one backed off, got a good catch, and was able to retire Shear safely.
For Valley City, number 8, Casey White.
Up to bat now, it is Casey White. 2 outs already here for the Highliners. Shanley's defense is stiffening, and we'll see what Valley City does in response. Well, that's a pretty good response as White gets to first, easily going around second, try to extend this into a triple. Yes, she will. And an error in the outfield is going to make this an in-the-park home run for Casey White. Holy cow.
There's no better place to hit it than just bombing it into the fence in center field. She got it past the whole outfield and then couple it with an error, and that's an easy walk-in home.
And I'm not sure. Let's see if we can get I don't think we can get a replay on that, but Adam, I think I missed it. Linster had that ball in center field, and it was right back on the ground after she picked it up.
I don't know if she dropped it or exactly what happened, but yeah, something went wrong there.
As the Deacons get the third out there, a nice play. Going back to the home run, though, I think Linster got that ball up off the ground, and when she was going to throw it to the end, into third, I think it might have just slipped out of her hand. When she pulled back, I'm not positive, but somewhere in that process, she lost it, and that's really an uncharacteristic mistake there from the junior.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. You just you hope that's nerves or something coming in. At least not to my knowledge, I don't think she's touched the ball yet this season in game like that. So, you hope we can solidify up later on in the game, but Shanley's just looking to move forward into a good batting session here.
Absolutely, and it's one run, not the end of the world. Mm-hmm. Tough thing, they had the 2 outs going, and they got the third out real quick right after that. So, just kind of a fluky play leads to Valley City getting another run here. So, tough pill to swallow if you're Shanley. Again, not the end of the world. Got to give credit, though, to the Highliners. That was just a great play by White. She really got a hold of that ball, and when you consider how strong this wind is coming in the batter's face, that was really impressive. If you've got no wind or the wind at her back, that might be a home run on a normal day.
Oh, yeah, and the other
well, it was a home run in the park. Yeah, I might be out of here on a normal day, I should say.
The other important thing to note there, too, is she was just confident going around. She saw that little error, or someone saw it, pointed out. She was gone. There was nothing stopping her once she noticed she could go for it. She was already swinging 3 after hitting it to the fence. That error, she's home easy.
Absolutely. Like you said, does a really good job catching that error there in the outfield. Just really good awareness. Mm-hmm. Deacons have not gotten much going offensively. Very short trips to the plate when they've been up there. We'll see what they can do in their third try, though. First up to bat is going to be Lucian for the Deacons. We'll see what she's got. Lucian, you want to talk about youth on this Shanley team. Lucian is just a 7th grader playing for these Deacons, starting for these Deacons. That's incredible. When you look at her performance here, she's been pretty solid defensively. The fact that she's a 7th grader and in this starting spot is really just something else. So Shear's back at it as that one is going to be popped foul from Lucian. Lucian ready to go there as Shear steps up, and that one will be tipped back again. So 2 strikes early here for Lucian. Tough spot for the 7th grader. Good news is she's made some contact. Bad news is she just hasn't been able to get a hold of it. The pitch, and a big swing there from the 7th grader does not connect. A nice strikeout there for Grace Shear.
Now batting number 3, Krista Sandoval.
Krista Schanzenbach now batting for the Deacons. Another member of that youth movement just in the 9th grade. And she's been playing, I know she was playing last year as an 8th grader. She's really one of the rising stars in this program. They've got some real good players in that pipeline. Schanzenbach and Lucian, obviously. Huge sophomore class. Next 2 years here could really be something else for the Deacons. Obviously, though, they're going to try to get something done here right now. Just because they're young doesn't mean they can't pull off some wins.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to note. You have on one side Valley City, who has a huge senior class. I mean, I think a majority of the people starting right now are seniors. And then you have Shanley, who is so young, sophomores, 9th graders, even down to the 7th grade. I mean, there's just a lot of youth on that team. They're hopefully going to be going for a couple more years here.
Shear with a nice strike that time. That one's high for another ball. Shear once again. This time it's low, and that's ball number 4. I think Schanzenbach thought it was 3. I thought it was 3, but that is number 4, so she'll take her base. Shear's been really strong most of this game, although that is her 2nd walk that she's given up. Neither one has been intentional, so that is something to take note of. A little bit of trouble there. It's interesting, though, because, those pitches don't look wild at all. They're all so close that you don't really feel that, as now Schanzenbach will take off, and she's safe for the steal that time, as Linster showed bunt there, and Valley City just could not catch Schanzenbach as she took off to take a base.
Now, this is great news for Shanley, because all of a sudden they're really putting the pressure on. I mean, you got only one person out, runner on second, and I think you're headed towards the top of your lineup here pretty quick, and that's a great. You are here, yeah, but it's a great place to be for Shanley.
Yeah, like you said, they are at the top of the lineup here as Linster will send that one right down the first base line. An error there. At first base, Linster's out, but Schanzenbach advances to third. So, Schanzenbach on third, 2 outs, and we'll see what the Deacons can do. Maddie Remke, the 10th grader, at the plate. Be huge for Shanley if they could get a run. Still looking for their first run of the year. High pitch there, ball number 1. Another ball there from Shear. That one a little bit wild, uncharacteristic. Saw the catcher finally had to move for one. That has not happened very much. And that is ball number 3 from Shear.
I think, Jeb, one thing I'd take notice of here is that Shear seems to be moving a lot faster in between pitches, especially those last couple she just tossed to Remke. She's not taking that much time. It seems she's almost kind of like stepped back into the game. She's not really her distant self, controlling it from the outside. That's a strike there, but 3 balls in a row, it's not what you've come to expect from her.
Yeah, for sure, Adam, and I definitely think that might be a part of it. She really likes to take her time. Not quite sure what the thought process is, trying to hurry him up, maybe throw off these batters, but that's another strike to make it a full count. Second time we've seen her do this. Start off with 3 balls, get 2 strikes. First time, ended up walking Rober. Second time, let's see. The windup, and that one's going to find its way past Shear, trying to make the out at first, and the Highliners will. Great recovery there for Valley City. I thought that might be the one that scored. I thought that ball from Remke was just going to, made its way past Shear. I just didn't think the throw would make it to first in time, but it was an excellent play there in the infield, and that's a tough break for Shanley. They've been getting closer each time, but they just can't get it to go, and you got to credit the Highliners. They're getting it done defensively.
I mean, that was an excellent play there at second base. I mean, she got down on one knee, blocked the ball from sliding into the outfield, and then tossed it actually off her knee, I believe, and got it to first base in time. That's what Valley City needs right here to get out of that situation.
Absolutely, Adam. Just really played quite nicely there by the Highliners, and now they're going to head back on offense here. Last trip was successful with the in-the-park home run from White. Other than that, Shanley really took care of things defensively, didn't give them much to work with. It was just that one in-the-park home run, and that's a pretty major, mistake to make. But still, the positives just keep coming here for the Deacons. It's a fairly close game right now, 3 runs. They just got to get out of this one quick. I think if they can just make a quick defensive stand here, I'm just really interested to see what the offense does when they come back out because, I feel pretty good about the defense right now if I'm Shanley. Obviously, you're going to have to prove it here. You can't take any innings off, but just interested to see what happens next time they take the plate. Swanson, meanwhile, seems to be getting better as the game goes on. Shear has been she's wavered a little bit the last inning or two, still looking strong, but I think Swanson is trending in the right direction right now. Here's a windup from Ingrid Swanson and a big swing for strike number 1. Want to give a shout out to Dorian Nelson watching from the concession stand. Of course, the mother of Gabby Nelson. Mrs. Nelson, always hard at work. We're glad that you're watching. And you're safe from foul balls today as the field has moved, so don't have to worry about that. Always a danger when you're working concessions, as Gabby's going to track down that ball to make a nice grab for the out.
Now batting, number 21, Haley Schaefer.
Haley Schaefer at the plate now. Another fast out for the Deacons there. It's out number 1. Here's the pitch from Swanson. And a swing for a strike. Swanson's really got the Highliners swinging right now. Not quite sure what they're seeing, but they're chopping after all these balls. Swanson's put a couple of them high, but she's just getting them to bite right now. As that time, smart play to back off on that one by Schaefer. Must have heard what I said, Adam. 1-1 the count as that one's popped way up into the air. And boy, it hung up there for a while, but Schanzenbach able to make the play and catch that one out. So there's 2 outs for the Deacons.
Yeah, you were talking about that wind earlier. You could tell when that one got hit up high into the air. I mean, it came back a little bit. It certainly just stopped. I mean, it got up into that wind, and it was dead. It didn't move an inch.
Absolutely. I mean, that one was just a towering hit. Looked like it was going to be going for miles, and like you said, it hit a brick wall up there. That one's going to be sent down the foul line. It's Rebecca Thompson at the plate. 3-0 lead here still for the Highliners. Got 2 outs, nobody on base. Swanson is looking pretty good right now. That one, though, into the dirt. Evens up the count. One now as Swanson's taking a little bit more time in between pitches. Lets that one go. Will be low for another ball. Swanson always a little erratic in the amount of time she takes in between pitches. You never know with her. Sometimes she's going rapid fire. Sometimes she really likes to size up the batters. As that one goes flying into the stands. Oofta. Nobody harmed, but that one woke some people up. Will be strike number 2, so 2-2 count now. Swanson taking her time a bit more here with this batter as that one is down into the dirt. We got a full count now. The windup and contact made, but foul once again. Thompson just hanging in there. And she'll take that as long as she stays alive at the plate. Make Swanson just keep throwing them her way. Fatigue her a little bit. Make her reach further into that toolbox. That one fouled off once again. Just got a piece of it. And, you know, as a pitcher, Adam, when you got these batters just hanging in there with with a full count anytime they got 2 strikes, it can really start to get to you after a little while. That's
a lot of stress. You got to have those 3 balls looming over you. I mean, you kind of got to toss it down the center of the plate. Otherwise, you risk putting them on first with no resistance. That's a lot to deal with.
And that is not what Ingrid Swanson wanted. She is going to walk her. And that's the 3rd pitch there against Thompson that she put right into the dirt. She had some real nice-looking ones and some like that she definitely wants back. And inconsistency right now is kind of the name of the game for Swanson. Flashes of brilliance, but a couple pitches like that have held her back. Andrasic now at the plate for Valley City. Swanson lets that one go. It's high. Oh, no, they will call the strike. That one right on the edge. But believe me when I say that umpire has a much better idea than I do.
Yeah, we do have that kind of awkward side angle. It's a little hard to see from up here.
Swanson lets it go into the ground again, and that's going to be a base stolen that time for Rebecca Thompson. And the Deacons still with 2 outs here. Well, Highliners with 2 outs rather, but they've been at 2 outs for a little bit now, and they are just hanging in there. Got a runner on second now, and things are looking good at the plate for Andrasic. Brief stoppage that time. Not quite sure. Shanley coach comes over to say something. And we're back to it. One to one the count. Swanson lets it go. Big swing from Andrasic. She wants to send Thompson home. Holy cow. Wind appears to have eased maybe a little. Not a lot, though. That one popped way up into the air. Should be an easy grab for the Deacons. Oh, no! Rober couldn't get it under control. Didn't make the throw at home.
I don't think Rober noticed her sliding in behind her, and they kind of sneak in for a quick run and a single there.
Yeah, Adam, I was going to say, that's an unfortunate break there for the Deacons. Very uncharacteristic there from the senior Rober, but like you said, she just did not seem to notice the runner right behind her. Thompson able to score on a fluky play, and, I think I jinxed it there, right as I'm saying easy out. Valley City able to score, and now a runner on first. And sometimes those ones that hang way up into the air, those can be really tricky. The longer it's up there, the longer you start to kind of think about it. The best play is when you just don't have to think about it, Just make the grab when you have the physical reaction before you can start to process it mentally, because that's when you start to think yourself right out of the play.
And then for the 100th time today, I think a big portion of that was definitely the wind. I mean, you saw Rober looked to be positioned right underneath it, and all of a sudden it bounced in front of her. I mean, I don't think she was expecting it to come forward as much as it did.
No, she definitely thought she was in the right spot, and you just don't know what that wind is going to do. That time it pushes it a bit, so that it falls right in front. Swanson lets it go. Little low, but it finds its way in. Good for a strike. The lead is now 4-0 for Valley City after that. They have hung around at 2 outs for a long time in this inning. Swanson lets it go. This one put down into the dirt. Deacons able to make the play to finally get that elusive 3rd out. Courtney Lloyd just about got there, but Deacons able to recover, and now they are very happy to be getting out at the top of the fourth. That was not fun for them. They only gave up 1 run, but I think that just stings a little bit, knowing how close they were to ending that.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate to come out of that after having them 2 outs for a while like that and letting them slide back into the inning. But you're glad you got out of it now. I mean, Valley City did leave runners on base, so it's not the worst situation for Shanley, but we're hoping to improve later on here.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, leaving runners on, there were definitely some positives there for the Deacons. Before that inning, they had really been trending the right way. They gave up the run before that. I thought for sure that was just going to be kind of a quick inning for Shanley. I thought they were moving the right way, but Valley City just won't go away. They're doing everything right. Shanley has stepped up, but so have the Highliners. They're just both teams just seem to be getting better as this goes on. But the really interesting question, I think, now is how's Grace Shear going to look? Because she's been a little spotty the last 2 innings. That's not very characteristic of her. It'll be very interesting to see what she does here, the junior pitcher. Swanson has had an inconsistent game. Shear's been a little more put together, a little more consistent, but she's shown a couple cracks. We'll see if Shanley can exploit them.
Well, even just that last warm-up pitch she just tossed, that was a nice low strike. That was a good pitch. So you were thinking we might see a little bit of that, but it's a different game with a batter in front of you.
Well, hopefully she saves some for the actual game there.
Yeah.
A good spot here for the Deacons. Swanson going to be leading off here. She had a great hit in the first inning. Deacons weren't able to capitalize, but she made some very nice contact, and then right behind her is Gabby Nelson. And so 2 of Shanley's better hitters right here ready to go at the bottom of the 4th. Low ball from Shear that time. Swanson just lets it go.
Yeah, typically you want to get, another runner on base before you have these 3 and 4 come up. But, I mean, these 2 combined, they can really do a lot of damage. They can put a ball deep or even just blast one through a hole. I mean, they can do a lot of damage hitting.
Yeah, they both, like you said, both very versatile. You never know. They might power one over the fence for a home run. They've got the speed to turn, nothing into something. You just don't know what they're going to do. And we'll see what Swanson's got as she'll swing for a strike on that one. Two one the count now. And Swanson will swing again. Evens things up at 2-2.
That's the same thing. She just got to lock in there. She chopped high on both of those, but I mean, she's getting her swings in, getting some good cuts. Not looking bad at all.
Big pitch coming up. She does make contact. It'll stay fair. Swanson trying to get there over to first, but the throw is made before she can get there. And that time, Swanson, I think she thought that was a little bit more of a goner than it was. She kind of pulled up like halfway through. I don't know if she thought that maybe was going foul. I thought that's what it was doing, or if she thought it made its way past third. Either way, though, she got...
It looks like it did go foul.
Yeah, what am I saying, Adam? It did go foul. Boy, I thought for sure that stayed fair. I think the Highliners did too, making the play. Obviously not, though, as Swanson is right back in the batter's box.
I could have sworn she had grabbed that before it popped foul, but, well, the umps have a better view than we do.
Yeah, a little embarrassing. So Swanson happy, though. She's going to get another crack at it, and she's got to be very happy because she's going to take her base on that 4th ball. And that's another walk for Shear. Shear just tough to figure out right now, Adam. I feel ready to make a call on her 1 minute. I feel like she's the ace. She's got it under control. And then the next batter she walks, I just don't know what she's going to do, one batter to the next.
Yeah, that unpredictability can be a kind of difficult thing to manage, especially if you're Shanley. She's not, putting all of them right down the middle. It's kind of a funky thing she's got going here. As Gabby takes a big cut at that one.
Yeah, that was a high pitch. Nelson chased it, though, and we'll foul that one off. Shear taking a little bit more time between pitches here like she did earlier. You see she just stands there right in front of the track for a good 2-3 seconds, sizing up the batter. Here's the pitch. It's going to be low for a ball. So it's a 1-1 count. Nelson fouled the first one off. Ball on that last pitch. Swanson made it on the walk. She was not thrown out, as we previously thought, just to clarify. Here comes Shear now on the third. High and outside for a ball. Balls are really starting to flow here for Shear. It's happened a couple times in this game. Every time she starts to get wild, though, she really gets it back under control. So Nelson's got to be careful. You know, Shear might be lulling her into a bit of a false sense of confidence. Maybe not, though, as Nelson connects big time on that one. Swanson rounding second at third, and she is going to stay. The third base coach made the call to stay. Adam, I don't know. I think she could have gotten home that time. That was close.
Yeah, I think if Valley City turned that one clean, she might have been caught at home, but I think they kind of fumbled it in the outfield, and that's something that you really can't account for.
Right, very tough to anticipate if you're the third base coach here for Shanley. But still a great situation there. The double for Nelson. Runners on second and third. Still no outs. Huge opportunity for the Deacons.
Yeah, you were talking about how Shear, when she starts tossing a bunch of balls, she really dials it in. And I think that's exactly what Gabby Nelson was looking for, because she turned around and popped one straight down the middle, and Gabby Nelson was really able to unload on it.
Absolutely. That's a great observation there, Adam. Like you said, Shear was just trying to put one down the gut, trying to go with that fastball down the middle to get back into her groove, and Nelson was anticipating it and capitalized as Schanzenbach's going to send this one deep into right field. And that's going to be misplayed. Huge opportunity now as Swanson's going to come home. Here comes Nelson. Schanzenbach making her way to third, and she'll hold up there. It is now 4-2. The Deacons get their first runs of the game and of the season.
I mean, that's an impressive play there from Shanley, just being ready for that. I mean, you anticipate that out, but she was all ready to second, when that drop came. It's just, you got to be ready for anything really out there. It's great to see Shanley now back in this game for sure, and then a runner on third, no outs. This is an ideal situation for Shanley.
Oh, no doubt about it. Huge opportunity here. Let's see what they do. It will be Weigel, another one of those sophomores. Or maybe not. I think it might be Rober. My apologies. It is going to be Rober. And she was walked last time she was up there. Good spot, though, to have the senior batting here. You know, you've got the runner on third. We'll see what she can do. That's a tough play there if you're Valley City for Rebecca Thompson. She was out there in right field, looked like she had it tracked down, and much like what happened to Rober for the Deacons, she just, I think the wind took it a little bit, dropped it just a little bit in front and to her left.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It looked like it dropped right downwind to where she was standing, which is kind of an unfortunate thing about a day like this, and especially no cover out here at Shanley. But yeah, you're going to get a lot of wind.
So Rober going to chop at that one. Fielded by Shear. She gets it home, and that will be an out. So tough break there for the Deacons. Rober makes it to first. Obviously, though, they would have rather had Schanzenbach score. So now it is Teresa Weigel up to bat for the Deacons.
Now batting for the Deacons, number 9, Teresa Weigel.
Still only one out here, though. Oh, make that 2. Or 1. Scoreboard reads 2. Gotta say, I don't know who to trust in this situation. I think we've got just one, though. I'm pretty sure that's the first out of the inning, as that one's right down the gut for a strike. That's what you want to see if you're Shear.
Oh, yep, our scoreboard seems to have corrected itself. We got one out now.
There we go. For once, I was right over the scoreboard there, Adam. Won't happen too often. Great pitch for Shear there to get the strike. Next one, Weigel's going to connect. Fielded, though, at second base, and then she's thrown out at first. Rober advances, but now it'll be 2 outs. And up to bat will be Lucian, the 7th grader.
The good thing about having that runner on second is with really any single or anything into the outfield, even just one that slides by a baseman, is going to be likely a run for Rober. So they are in scoring position here. Hopefully can bring this game 1 run closer.
Lucian lets that one go, low for a ball. Sheer moving at a little bit of a quicker pace for her. As Lucian takes a big swing. And, you know, when Sheer puts those ones high, the Deacons are really swinging at them. Not quite sure what they see there, but it's clearly something they like. They're really chopping at the high ones. That one goes high. This time, Lucian will let it go. Makes it 2-1. Sheer slows up the pace on this one and then puts it low. There's a rare sight for her. You know, typically her balls have been high and outside. Swanson's been the one who's put them a bit low. That time, though, she is going to bounce one.
Yeah, it was good work from Valley City, though, to just get in front of that pitch and not let it go wild, especially with Hope sitting like she is on second. Or
for sure.
Hope Rover, excuse me.
Lucian does take a swing at that one. She fouls it back. So that'll make it a full count. And that's a tough spot if you're the 7th grader. Full count, 2 outs. You don't want to leave a runner on. You're having your best offensive inning of the game. A lot to ask from the youngster. She takes a swing, and she'll miss to end the inning. Still, though, gutsy move there from the 7th grader, taking the swing. You know, I think the worst thing she could do is if she saw a pitch she liked and backed off just because she was afraid to mess up there. I think, you know, long term, you're glad to see the young batter there taking the swing.
And I think that ball was, I mean, that was a strike is what it looked like from up here.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you want to see her take a cut at it. Whether or not she hits it, she definitely made the right thing. You can't let a 3rd strike just slide by.
Absolutely. So, you know, and no such thing as a good out, but, you know, silver lining on that one. So good to see there. And the bigger thing, though, what an inning for the Deacons. Defensively, they did give up the 1 run that they probably want back. You know, Rober had that 1 error. But offensively, they got the 2 runs. And it's like I said before the 4th, I was really excited to see what they were going to do on offense because it seemed like they were really getting going. And that proved to be the case. They were at a favorable spot in their order. Swanson and Nelson did the damage. They got home. And now we got a much more competitive game here, Adam. So, the big question here, Ingrid Swanson back at the mound. See what she's got. Last inning was not her best. She's really been bouncing them out in front. That's something she's going to try to get under control here in this inning. Best thing for Shanley after such a successful offensive endeavor, if they could come out here and shut down Valley City, be a huge confidence booster for them, because the one thing they haven't done, they haven't really had back-to-back really good outings. You know, it's been one area is better, then the next kind of drops a bit. So we'll see if they can start to string together some nice play. That one right into the glove of Swanson. She wasn't expecting it, but makes a nice recovery to get the out. Came flying right into her. Not even sure if it hit the glove. It might have been the arm.
It looked like it, yeah, it just kind of hit her, but I mean, she was quick to react, got down and tossed it to first, got the out.
Didn't panic is the big thing. Sometimes you get hit with that ball, and it's like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
And you kind of get fumbling on the ground for it, but Swanson just looked really calm there. Big pitch goes high. That'll be ball number 1. That one just sneaks inside for a strike. It was tracking high, found its way in, though. It's a nice pitch there for Swanson. She's been putting them high, kind of tricks the batter that time. Probably wanted to let it go, as she did. Now Shear's going to pop this one way up. Rober tracks it down and makes the grab. Nice recovery there for Rober to make the grab there, kind of in a similar spot. A little bit of redemption for last inning.
Yeah, I know you can tell she was definitely tracking that one a lot more closely. She was ready to move forward. She had her other hand right under it in case she bobbled a little bit. She was ready for that.
Yeah, I was just about to say, great point. She got that other hand out there just to be sure. Didn't want to make the same mistake twice. White. She had the in-the-park home run for Valley City. A great play for them, a real energy play. Anytime you can get the home run and keep the ball in the park, that's just a fun time for Valley City. We'll see what she's got up her sleeve this time. This one way up into the air into right field, and it's going to be fair. No, it will be foul. And no one seemed to know for a second there. She slowed down, then she sped up, and finally, though, they do get the foul call. So she'll make the long walk back to home.
Yeah, it appeared the umpire was signaling foul, but her bench, I believe, was shouting at her to keep running, keep running. So
a little bit of miscommunication that time. But White's back at the plate now. 0-2 count. She lets that one go, and it's a strike. That ends the inning. Adam, what I say, if they could get a really strong defensive start to this inning, I think it'd be good for them, obviously, and that was the case.
Well, that should certainly be a confidence booster, like you said. This should be huge for Shanley. You scored 2 runs in your last offensive side. Now all of a sudden you shut them down pretty confidently. All of a sudden you are. The game's kind of in Shanley's favor right now. The scoreboard doesn't show it, but the momentum certainly should.
Yeah, no doubt the momentum's going the Deacons' way. It's just whether or not they can capitalize. The biggest difference is they've just been more streaky than Valley City so far in this game. Valley City has played a consistently good game. The Deacons have had their flashes, and now they're finally starting to put it together. So Valley City, they've been doing it all game long. Shanley just starting to get it going. Highliner's going to try to shut the door. We'll see if it'll work, though. They are in a favorable spot in the order for Valley City, towards the bottom of the order. Swanson and Nelson don't bat for a little while yet, so we'll see. Shear had a rough inning that last time. Going to try to recover here. Had some walks, gave up some hits, but we've gotten to know her these last few innings. We know what she's capable of. Those fastballs down the middle have worked more often than not. I think we'll see a good deal of those. Up to bat for the Deacons, it is going to be Krista Schanzenbach, the freshman. Little huddle there at the mound for the Highliners. They'll break and get ready to go here to start the bottom of the 5th.
Leading off for the Deacons, number 3, Krista Schanzenbach.
The pitch from Shear, not the start she's looking for. It's going to be a ball.
Jay, you just can't help but wonder if that's going to kind of be the tone for this whole inning, because she was consistent that whole first half, and all of a sudden, first half of the game, I should say, they don't play in halves, but all of a sudden she's kind of fallen off. Granted, that was a pretty nice strike right there.
Yeah, no, Adam, I'd agree, and not even so much falling off as just the inconsistency, but no, I think everyone gets what you're saying there. She's just had a more wild pitches than we had seen from her in the beginning. I think that's just been pretty surprising given what her first 2-3 innings looked like. Part of that got to be fatigued to a degree, but part of that is I think Shanley is playing a little bit better. I don't think they're swinging at what they were earlier, and I think they're letting some stuff go that they were taking big swings at earlier.
Oh, there you go.
And there's a nice single. No, I'm sorry. There's an out for Valley City to start things off. Schanzenbach had some space there. It looked like she might get it, but another strong defensive play for Valley City. And, that's the other thing. When Shear has started to fade, her defense has stepped right up most of the time. Last inning was a bit more successful for Shanley, but for the most part, when she's given up hits, her defense has been there to bail her out. Low one that time goes for a ball. It's Linster at the plate for the Deacons. Linster loves to try that bunt, but Valley City well aware of that. Don't think we'll be seeing it from her here. As that one goes low, check swing, but it just finds its way inside. That'll be a strike. Shear with the windup. That'll be high for ball number 2. Just not quite able to find that sweet spot she was in earlier. Speeding up in between pitches a little bit right now, although she's going to take a nice long pause there in front of the mound. Not uncommon as she puts that one low. Ball number 3.
This could be an opportunity for Shanley here, get on base early. You're likely expecting her to put it right up the middle. You don't, obviously she doesn't want to walk here.
And you really don't want to walk Linster, such a dangerous base runner, as she checks that swing, but they will call a strike. So full count now, 1 out. Sheer steps onto the track. They'll wind up the pitch, and Linster's going to pop it way up into the air. Fouled. Buys herself a little more time. It's a good thing for Linster right now. The odds are in your favor if you can keep forcing Sheer to, keep pitching to you. She just hasn't been able to string together too many strikes, so you're bound to maybe get one that goes into the dirt or a little high here if you're Linster. If you can just stay at the plate, the more pitches she throws, the better your odds are. She'll let that one go high, and like I said, it's just been inconsistent for Sheer. The more pitches she had to throw, the greater the odds were of her putting one wild, obviously, and that time Linster's the benefactor.
And the other thing, now you have a very fast base runner on base, and all of a sudden Shanley's got a lot of opportunities here.
Showing bunt that time. Linster going to take off. Risky play. I think she got her. Yeah, Linster's going to be caught out there. Out number 2. And the Highliners knew that one was coming.
That was some excellent heads-up defense from the Highliners. They saw her getting prepped for that, and the instant she went, they were on top of it.
Well, they just know that's Linster's calling card. Her base running is her deadliest weapon. Shanley was really happy to get her on. Very unfortunate, though. She's out already. Now Remke, 2 outs. Going to try to pull something off here with a 2-0 count. Sheer lets it go. Remke drills one down right past second. Be good for a single. And the Deacons got to be wishing Linster was still on base right now. The good news, though, Ingrid Swanson up to bat. She has been lethal so far in this game.
You don't want 2 outs, but you are right into that sweet spot in your batting lineup. And so you got some big hitters coming up with a runner on base. This is pretty good for Shanley here.
Absolutely, as Linster takes a big swing at that one. Go for a strike. Good swing, though, I'd say. Ball was maybe going a little high, but clearly Swanson going for it all here. Swanson, another big swing. Again, I'd say a smart one. Bad news, though, she is in an 0-2 hole. Sheer to end the inning, puts it high. And there's a ball. Good patience there from Swanson. Swung at the first 2. Made a good read on the last one. Another big swing there, and that will end the inning. Unfortunate break there for the Deacons. They had really been putting it together, and that time flashes, but they just weren't able to do anything. They got Linster on base with the walk. Then she gets caught, trying to steal second. A great hit from Remke, but then Swanson just swinging a little too big. So it was there. There were positives, but there were a few too many negatives, and so they unable to get a score out of that inning.
Yeah, you just hope it doesn't shift back, because that was definitely the inconsistency you've seen earlier in the game. That you hope that Shanley's kind of going to move away from that now, finishing out the game if they want to have a chance to come back into this.
And the other unfortunate thing there for the Deacons is, Shear really did give them some opportunities. She gave them some chances there with a couple of wild pitches and just not able to take advantage of those. So over to the top of the 6th. You play 7 in softball. Getting into crunch time here. Definitely no need to panic if you're the Deacons. Got 2 more chances to tie this one up. The one thing, though, you really, really don't want to give up any more runs, because those 2 runs they've got were pretty hard to come by, just have not been able to get a lot of offense going. Valley City, meanwhile, only 4 runs, but they did score in 3 of the first 5 innings, so they spread them out nicely. They've been good usually for 1 run an inning.
So that's, again, the direct parallel between the two is you got Shanley, who has, they've definitely had some streaks, but they've had some going the other way as well, where they've been really kind of flat. And then Valley City's been pretty consistent in their just solid play all around.
Yeah, and, Valley City, they haven't really excelled in one area too much. They've just been such a good team in all facets. They haven't had necessarily one player who's really done it all. They're just a really balanced team, really deep team. And those are the kind of teams that are built to win. You can't win with just one big superstar or just one area that you're really good in. And the Highliners know that. They're just a well-built team. As that pitch is real high for Swanson that time. Second pitch fouled way up into the air. That leaving the count up 1-1. No outs here at the top of the 6th. Pitch from Swanson down into the dirt. Remke chases that one down. Second ball here. Swanson, again, going to put it low, but it just sneaks in there. A little bit of a sinker. Took a sharp dip at the end there.
Yeah, but it's pretty consistent throughout the game. The umps have definitely been calling a little bit high, a little bit low, kind of all around the strike zone. They've been giving them a little leeway.
Yeah, for sure. That is the one. Yeah, that's definitely a good thing to point out. Really consistent in what's a ball and what's a strike. And I don't think anyone can be upset about that. As long as they're calling it pretty similarly inning to inning, you got a pretty good idea what you have to do as a pitcher, as now Swanson will walk Peterson. Not a great start to the inning here.
No batting number 13, Kenneth Taylor.
And now you've got McKenna Taylor, senior third baseman, up to bat. In the event Shanley wanted to make a change at pitcher, and I don't think that's likely, certainly not warranted right now. In the event they did make a change here, if Swanson really starts to walk them, they've got some options. Schanzenbach would probably be the most likely to move into that pitcher role. They could also move Nelson in. I'm not quite sure, what their plans are with Nelson for pitching this season. There've certainly been some rumors out there about how much she's going to do pitching. I know she's got the ability, but we'll see what materializes as the season goes on. Foul ball that time on the bunt try. Taylor that time maybe just looking for the sacrifice to advance Peterson. Does not go, though.
That's something Valley City can definitely look to do here, especially with no outs. A couple good, even just ground outs, as long as they're not putting their runner in danger, they can get her moving pretty fast.
And now look at this, taking off for second. That's good. That ball's going way out into the outfield, but Peterson not able to see that in time. Good call staying anyway. Linster was able to track it down. But that time, Shanley's caught off guard. Peterson able to pick up second. No need to sacrifice. You've got a runner on second now with no outs. 0-2 count here for Taylor. High pitch from Swanson. That'll be a ball. And that one popped way up into the air. Linster going to try to track it down, and she makes the grab. But now here goes Peterson. She will make it to third. So the sacrifice fly gets Peterson to third. Taylor goes out. All in all, though, I'd say Valley City's happy with that.
That looked almost like it was by design. She was definitely ready for that to be going up and out. And she got a good tag and was there well before the ball.
At the plate now, it is Haley Schaefer. She's had some success in this game. High pitch there from Swanson, going to be a ball. Swanson takes her time, the windup, and that one's put low. Peterson just waiting there. She's ready to take off. Just needs an opportunity. The pitch and a big swing. Nothing going there for the Highliners. Swanson in a tough spot, but doing pretty well right now. Swanson again, and this one will connect. The double play opportunity will not go, and so Valley City gonna score. Peterson makes it home. Schaefer gets thrown out, but she doesn't care too much about that. She is just happy to get Peterson home. That's a big run in this game. One run is a huge deal.
You know, again, that was a pretty perfect sacrifice little grounder. She put it to the opposite side of the field from where you're trying to run. She kept it low and slow, and it worked out perfectly for Valley City.
2 outs now and a strike to start this at-bat off. It's Rebecca Thompson, the junior. Shanley really just wants to stop the bleeding here, and it's not like they've had anything too significant. You know, it's just the Highliners just really took advantage, as not quite sure what happened there.
That's a drop third strike.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Adam. Boy, just out of it on that one. But as I was saying, geez, all in all, not great if you're Shanley. You really did not want to give up a run that time, but it's a good recovery. You know, I think the Highliners, they didn't get on base too much. They just did such a good job capitalizing when they did. I mean, Peterson just scratched and clawed her way to get home. You know, she got the stolen base. She worked her way around on the sacrifices. I mean, all in all, just really gritty there. And that's Valley City. You know, I can't pick out an area where they've been, you know, unbelievably good, but I can't find an area where they've been bad either. They just know how to win. And, you know, there's certainly, you know, 2 at-bats here left, or 2 trips to the plate here left for Shanley. You know, we're entering the bottom of the 6th, but we'll see. Valley City looking like a winning team right now. 2 wins to start off this season, as now it looks like we've got a pitching change. Adam, I think you caught that one. It looks like Haley Schaefer, if I'm not mistaken.
That is Haley Schaefer. She's coming out to pitch. Sheer might be a little tired here, or just looking for something a little different. We'll see how she's able to open it up for Valley City.
I got to say, Adam, I really like the call here for Valley City. Sheer, great job to start this game. You know, she made it really tough for Shanley. Obviously, only 2 runs so far. Can't complain about that. But I think she was just kind of reaching her expiration date for the game. You know, she had hit. I think she had maybe just gotten a little fatigued out there. She just didn't have quite the same thing going that she did in the first couple of innings. I think this is a good change. Because, you know, there's certainly that feeling out period for the Deacon batters, too. that can, that can sometimes take even a whole inning to figure out. If you can even just take away this bottom of the sixth from them, don't give them really an opportunity here, that's a huge victory for you. So this is really good for the Highliners, I think. Obviously, we'll see what happens, but definitely going to be a challenge for the Deacons facing a new pitcher. Schaefer's first pitch is going to be shot down center field by Nelson. That ball misplayed. Nelson rounding second, going to push for third. It's going to be a triple for Gabby Nelson. Great start to the inning here, or great start to the bottom of the sixth here for Shanley. Nelson there to lead off for you, just exactly what you want out of your junior, one of your leaders. She's been fantastic batting for the Deacons.
Well, that was excellent. She saw her pitch right away, and she jumped at it. I mean, caught everyone, I think, a little off guard.
And it looked like a solid pitch, too, when Schaefer put it right down the middle, but it seems like every time Nelson is connected, that's where the pitch has been. So I think Valley City hopefully starting to figure out you cannot give them to Nelson down the gut. Schaefer looking stronger here with Schanzenbach up to bat. What a way to enter the game if you're Schaefer here. As Schanzenbach pops this one up, going to be chased down, caught by a Highliner, but not a player, a coach.
Well, this is actually a really good start to the inning for Shanley. Nobody out, and, you had a player on third already. You think they scored 2 runs fairly quickly in 1 inning. There's no reason they can't come back from a 3-run deficit just like that.
Oh, for sure. And, even if you can just get Nelson home here, if you just get Nelson home and no one else, that still puts you in a more manageable spot there for the 7th. Obviously, it's going to be dependent on how they do defensively, but so far, so good. Schaefer, the windup, and Schanzenbach puts it into the ground. Play going to be made at first, but Nelson will make it home. So, that's good for the Deacons. They'll take that any day, trade 1 out for a run. And now it's going to be Rober up to bat. Been fairly successful so far. Was walked earlier. Schaefer does not look like she's going to be walking anyone right now. She's putting them all straight down. And that one just a little low, they'll say, for ball number 1.
Well, I'm actually not too opposed to that strategy. Just putting them down the middle and letting her field take care of the work. Because Valley City, when the ball is getting hit at the basemen, the outfielders, everything, they seem to handle it really well. Unless it's an absolute bomb, nothing's really getting by them. There's not a whole lot of errors. They're managing it really well.
Yeah, I'd agree. And Schaefer, one problem here, not quite getting the strikes she was, as that's going to be her 3rd pitch that's low for a ball. But those first 2 were just there, she's hovering right around the low part of the strike zone. She clearly has an area where she's trying to put it. It's not working right now, but no, I'd agree. I like the strategy. Just kind of let the Deacons take their swings, as that's going to be 4 balls in a row, though, for Rober, and she's walked again. And that really shows, Rober, the senior, that really shows her experience. That's the 2nd time she's been walked. Neither time has been intentional. And she just is so good at feeling those pitches out, knowing what to swing at and what not to. That's that senior leadership really showing through, that senior experience. Pop fly from Weigel, tracked down and caught for an out. Out number 2. Rober still sitting there on first.
Batting for the Deacons, number 20, Azana Lucian.
And another tough spot here for Lucian. It seems like she has been really kind of put in all the tough situations here for the Deacons. The 7th grader going to try to extend this inning as she puts that one into the ground, and foul. And boy, you can really see it on the faces of the players. They are cold out there right now as Lucian takes a big swing at that one. Everybody's got their arms wrapped around themselves, just trying to stay warm in between pitches. It is getting pretty cold right now. That wind has not died at all. If anything, it's picked up, and the temp is dropping.
Oh, yeah, that sun's kind of, I mean, it's backed out for sure, and all of a sudden it's chilly. We have just a little crack in the window up here, and we can feel the cold.
Yeah. Certainly going to be getting to some of the players here, especially a tough spot to come into if you're Schaefer pitching, coming in cold literally and figuratively, as Rober's going to take off for second now. She'll make it as that one's mishandled. Wouldn't have mattered, though. She was already there. So, nice job there by Rober. Still a tough spot, 1-2 count, 2 outs, but setting herself up in a little better position. Lucian lets it go, but it's called a strike. And so that'll do it for the 6th inning. Earlier, she had a full count. She took a swing. We thought that was a good call that time. She lets it go, and, you can't really blame her on that one. That one looked to be a little low. A lot of balls going low for Schaefer. I can't complain, I don't think.
No, I think that was a fair call. I mean, it's one, you don't know if they're going to call that low or not, so you kind of, just don't know. I mean, it's the first game of the season. She's a 7th grader. She's warming up to it. I really can't criticize that call.
No, I mean, the other thing is we're looking at a 7th grader here who probably is not going to be raking one too deep. It's just the fact of the matter. You're a 7th grader going up against juniors and seniors here, and so she knows that even if she does get that hit, not a great chance she's advancing Rober too far, so just a good call, I think, there, yeah. Got a break here in between innings as we're getting ready to start off the 7th. And we'll do something we like to do here on Shanley TV. Folks, on this day in sports history, been a while since we've done it, but on this day in sports history, 1933, the Chicago Bears won their first NFL game, beating the New York Giants 23-21. Just a little fun fact for you there. Football in April. A little bit surprising, gotta say. Bears would certainly take a win now, though. Doesn't matter what month, I'd say. And now Andrasic up to bat. Swanson going to finish this game out for the Deacons, it looks like, as that's a nice strike to start things off.
Well, you got to look at it this way. I mean, if Shanley can get out of this inning damage-free, the top of this inning at least, then, I mean, going into the bottom, they don't have too much to overcome. You're going to be heading towards the better half of your batting order, and you're going to be looking to do a lot of damage, actually.
Absolutely, Adam. I think as long as you just don't let them get another on the board here, even if you give up one, it's not the end of the world, but for how tight this game has been, you really just want to try to keep them off the board. But like you said, it's a pretty good spot if they can stay down 2 runs headed into the bottom of the 7th. Pitch from Swanson just sneaks in there. 2-2 count now. No outs. Andrasic, of course, batting leadoff in this inning. She'll take a swing. And that'll do it. Andrasic is retired. It is now the Deacons. We'll have a quick meeting at the mound. After that strikeout, and Swanson's getting ready to go again as Courtney Lloyd is at the plate. One out now as Swanson puts that one low. Ball number 1. Swanson sizing her up and puts that one high. A little bit of an overcorrection that time. Deacons playing pretty far in right now. Obviously watching out for short little line drive along the ground. That's what's really killed them in a lot of these spots. So many of Valley City's base runs, a lot of their or base hits, I should say, have just been, those little grounders that kind of shoot by their defense. Deacons seem to be cracking down on that a bit more. And, especially this wind, it seems like it's only getting stronger. That deep ball is not so much of a threat at this spot in the order either. So, strategic decision there by the Deacons. And just as I say that, this one's going to be popped up deep into right field, but a good grab made by Weigel.
It's going to be put right into her waiting glove. That's honestly the perfect place for her. Barely had to walk for it.
And we know today of all days it is not easy fielding balls like that. The ones that get a little air behind them have been tough to judge. So nice work there by the sophomore. So 2 outs now. Swanson going to try to retire this batter and hopefully get into that bottom of the 7th, only down 2. We've seen Valley City do some damage, though, with 2 outs. They really don't back down. They don't play scared, which is exactly how you have to do it. Big swing that time. Swanson picks up a strike. Pace of play slowed down a little bit here. Swanson not rushing anything. She's taking her time on these as that one's fouled back. I like this strategy here. I think at times she's kind of rushed things a little bit. She does pitch at a faster pace than some, but I do think she's kind of rushed her way through sometimes, and that's hurt her. Right now, she's taking her time, but not lingering. She's found that sweet spot. Full count now. Huge pitch here. Swanson lets it go, but it's low. And so she'll walk. And we're back to the top of the order here for Valley City. Not a great spot to be in. Grace Shear out there batting. She's no longer pitching, but we know how dangerous she is batting. This is going to be a real battle here between Swanson and Shear. And Shear going to pop that one up right away. Weigel going to try to chase it down, and she makes the grab. 2 huge grabs for Teresa Weigel in this inning. She comes up real big for the Deacons.
That's some excellent play, especially grabbing that one on the run, following it in the wind. That was a good catch.
And so we'll have a quick break here in between the top and bottom of the 7th. It's going to be tense for Shanley. I mean, it's do or die. You got to get at least 2 to extend the game. I mean, you hope for 3, get the win, but you need 2 or you drop the first game of the season. That's a tough spot to be in. Good part of the order. They're right at the top. It'll be Elena Linster batting. We got some softball going on here. Meanwhile, the Twins and Indians are playing. That game having recently started in the top of the first, 0-0. A lot of other sports going on right now. NBA and NHL playoffs going. Adam got the Jets Wild tonight and the Timberwolves Rockets. Some important local games. Any predictions?
I'm hoping the Wild can crank it out. The Jets got the first 2. The Wild absolutely pounded them the other night.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for the hometown team to bring it. I think they can absolutely do it.
Yeah, for sure. Playing another game at home, like you said, they really took it to them.
Oh, yeah.
Not to mention some injuries on that blue line for Winnipeg. Very opportune moment for Minnesota. That's a fun series. Jets Wild, good division rivals. T-Wolves Rockets, I don't think that's going to be quite as competitive.
That's not shaping up to be as much of a series.
Basically T-Wolves versus James Harden. That's just been...
James Harden puts up more than your average high school basketball team in a game, so he's...
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. But before we get to all that, focus on the game at hand here. We got a pretty good game going right now. Valley City and Shanley here trying to end things are the Highliners up 2. Grace Shear started the game pitching. She pitched through the first 5. Then last inning, a change was made. Haley Schaefer, she's still going right now. Looked pretty good, too, in relief. And there's a strike. And that one's going to be called a strike. Close. It was a little high. And that's a tough one. You know, it's been fairly consistent, though. I mean, I think that's a strike in most other innings. So that's a tough pill to swallow, though, as that's a swing and a miss for Schanzenbach.
Yeah, I mean, it always feels good when it's going your way, and it sucks when it's going against you. But, I mean, they have consistently the entire game, they've been calling them a little high, calling them a little low, and that's just, I mean, it's the way they're calling the game.
And so that was Schanzenbach, not Linster. I believe this is Linster. My apologies. It's pretty cold down there. They've started to put on the warm-up jackets, so I can't get the numbers. I do think this is Linster out there right now, though. And she's going to pop that one, but it is grabbed nicely. Great defensive play there that time from Eliza Johnson coming from the second base spot to make the play. 1 out to go now, and so the pressure is on Remke. Here's the thing. If Remke can just get on base, you've got Swanson and Nelson right behind her, your 2 most consistent batters today. So pressure's really on Remke. If she can just get on, though, they're in a much better spot.
I think the one thing that's going to be challenging here for Remke is she's kind of got to focus in. Schaefer is definitely not taking the time in between pitches they're used to seeing from Valley City during the beginning of this game.
No, she's pushing the pace of play at him, and I really like it. She's not giving Shanley any time to think, no time to get comfortable. She just wants to end this game, as that one's a little low.
No, yeah, it's an excellent strategy. I mean, they had like a really slow down, kind of make them wait pitching to start off, and now they've gone to the really giddy up and go, and it's going to be hard for Shanley to adjust.
Remke got the hit, but the play is made to get her out, and that will do it. A quick end to this one in the bottom of the 7th. Valley City did what they did all game long, took care of business. Wasn't flashy, it was just effective. Walking away with a 5-3 win. They move to 3-0 on the season. The Deacons, meanwhile, dropped their season opener, so they start off 0-1. Some positives and some negatives, Adam. You know, they certainly got better as the game went on, I think, although there are definitely some things you want to improve upon. I think overall the consistency just wasn't quite there for them today. That was a big difference between them and the Highliners.
You know, honestly, it was a good game. They played a tough opponent today, a team that really just knew how to get it done. And I wouldn't say they played bad by any means. They just, it was rusty. It was the first game of the season. You hope they can just work that out and move on.
Absolutely. So, Shanley drops that home opener. Plenty more softball to be played. Plenty more on Shanley TV. We're going to be right back to it on Thursday. Shanley will get a chance to improve upon their record, get back to 500. Well, get to 500. Things have just started. A little bit of a funky spring sports season, but the games are starting up now, and we're going to be bringing them to you. For this afternoon, though, for Adam Seiler and for our entire crew, I'm Jed Thomas. Your final score from Fargo: Shanley Deacons 3, Valley City Highliners 5. To watch the archived version of this entire game and our other broadcasts, go to ShanleyTV.com. The proceeding has been a presentation of Shanley TV.